And a very good afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my stream. I'm your host, Captain MD13, and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. Wow, way to jumble words this early. Welcome back to Elite Dangerous and to Thargoid Thursdays. It is once again time to get our latest Eagle Eye updates and hear what the story is surrounding the Thargoids and their targets of interest this week. We are at Copernicus Observatory in the Asterope system, but we are going to get underway right away. Our first order of business today is to get to the nearest Eagle Eye station that's going to give us a message, and that is going to be Eagle Eye 4 today. So, let's get a course plotted there as soon as the map cooperates. There we are. Get out of that, and why not? Let's scan a few high wakes. We got a little bit of time. Benefits of a long-range scanner makes getting these wake datas a little bit easier. It's a bummer you can't, like, integrate fast and you can't integrate multiple scanner mods at once. Both of those wakes didn't generate any data. Interesting. Okay, no wake data.
Cannot comply. Frameshift drive charging.
Alrighty then, let's be on our way. Now, it is a bit of a trek to Eagle Eye 4. The location where it's at is a bit far away from the main star this time around. So we will need to be a little bit, hope that we do not get any rude disruptions on our way to Eagle Eye this time around. And it looks like we're good for the time being. Because we have to go all the way to A5. And actually, I need to double check something. Where is Eagle Eye 5's, where's Eagle Eye 5's, what's the planet Eagle Eye 5 is orbiting? I think it's 4, but I can't remember if it's 2. It is 4. Excellent. Just double checking something on that front. Just needed to update my Word document. So this will be the last Thargoid Thursday before the Chapter 4 Beyond update. Which I'm very glad that Eagle Eye is not busted this week. I have already confirmed that it is active. Which is something I'm very glad to see because in the previous couple of updates, before an update has occurred, Eagle Eye effectively stopped working for a week or two, depending on the scenario, and boy, was it annoying. Oh, Arthur of Camelot. What's he doing in 3304? Never mind. It's a video game. Good question, SA Icon. Let's explore that in a moment. We'll do so... we will explore as soon as we park in front of the Eagle Eye 4 transmitter, which reminds me, I need to set up my mods to go into stealth. Nope. Those two stay on 1. There we are. Salutations, Alametry. Welcome to the stream. How you doing on this afternoon? Oh, is NASA doing something right now? Interesting. I always loved space and planets when I was a kid. Ooh, good. Parked me right in front of the transmitter. I think it's just, cops and, is it just cops and, is it cops? I think it's actually pirates. Well, if we're lucky, these guys are just gonna mind their own business. Ooh, it's actually an active attack going on right now. But let's ignore that for the moment and go into stealth before things go haywire.
Power plant capacity exceeded.
So what I've just done is go into stealth, and that is by deploying all of my things and setting the power plant capacities and priorities in a set fashion. I basically get to decrease my heat to such a low amount, and it works out. I'm good, Alametry. I had a very long day at work, but it is all going to be made up for with a nice Thargoid Thursday. It's my favorite thing to do every week, so I'm always happy when I get to do it, to stream it for you guys. So, while we have a little bit of time, we're a little early, actually, to Eagle Eye 4. It's not going to start transmitting its message for another 4 minutes. I am going to go into a bit of a synopsis, for those who have not seen it before, of what Eagle Eye is and where you can find them. So, I'm going to bring up my little guide over here as soon as I adjust my scene on OBS. Make sure it's woken up. And do this. What was that? Excuse me? That was a missile that just blew by me. Great. Dumbfire missiles, next biggest threat to me. Ugh, where was I? Anyway, so for those who do not know, there are 6 Eagle Eye stations sprinkled all throughout the Pleiades Nebula, and you can see them right here. So the one we're at right now is Eagle Eye 4, which is at HIP 17225, planet A5. We'll be heading to Eagle Eye 5 next, which is in Pleiades sector KC-V C2-4, planet 4. Then we'll be heading to Eagle Eye 6, which is in Pleiades sector IRW D1-55, planet 2, which will be renamed the Delphi system next week. The other 3 Eagle Eyes are in case we need to check later messages. So basically, at the top, or once the server maintenance cycle hits every Thursday, these Eagle Eye satellites release encoded new encoded messages. To translate these encoded, the way these messages are delivered is that they begin with a series of numbers. For example, in this case, they start out with the numbers 9142214518119er. And what that does is it spells out a code word. In this case, it spells out the code word invaders. So in order to decode the Eagle Eye signals, what we will be doing is we will be listening for the letters in the top row here. Basically, how it works is you start by spelling out invaders, and then you then spell out the remaining alphabet with the remaining letters that were not in the code word. You substitute the letters you hear from the top column with the matching letters in the normal alphabet order on the bottom column. An example of this is what we'll hear in a moment is this part right here and this part right here. These parts are always the same in every Eagle Eye message. And it starts with the this series of letters. So for example, a P in this case translates to an, if I could find it, P translates to an S. So, and the D translates to an E, V to a C, T to a U, O to a R, and D to an E. So, Papa Delta, Victor Tango, Oscar Delta, and that will translate to the word secure. And then the rest of this is secure anomalous signal detected. The part that's spaced out right now is, double checking my time, is a system name. What's going to be a system name and a planetary designation. We'll have to decode that part manually. This last part here is investigate urgent. But we are now about to hear Eagle Eye 4's message, so let me switch back to ED. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut up for a couple of minutes and let you enjoy Eagle Eye 4's message undisturbed.
Oscar, Delta, India, Juliet, Kilo, Hotel, Kilo, Golf, Kilo, Tango, Papa, Papa, Bravo, Romeo, Juliet, India, Golf, Alpha, Delta, Quebec, Delta, Victor, Quebec, Delta, Alpha, Hotel, Delta, Golf, 2, Papa, Delta, Victor, Quebec, Kilo, Oscar, Echo, Sierra, Tango, Victor, 3, Niner, India, 1, India, Bravo, Juliet, Uniform, Delta, Papa, Quebec, Bravo, Romeo, India, Quebec, Delta, Tango, Oscar, Romeo, Delta, Juliet, Quebec, Niner, 1, 4.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, that was the first Eagle Eye message. For the day, at least. So our next order of business is to plot course to Eagle Eye 5, which is in Pleiades Sector KCV-C2-4. Luckily, this one is much closer to the arrival star compared to Eagle Eye 4, so we'll have a little bit of time after we get to Eagle Eye 5 to go ahead and decode our signal. And it looks like there's a lot of debris out there. Oh my. Either debris or those are just ships. Never mind. Yes, telemetry. Yes, telemetry. Some damaged megaships can occasionally have Thargoid interceptors lying around. Now, granted, if you don't have any Thargoid cargo and you keep your distance at least 500 meters from the Thargoids, they're not going to bother you. Or they'll scan you, but they won't bother you. They won't actively attack you or anything. They only attack you if they find out you're carrying their stuff, or Guardian technology for that matter, and if you stay too close to them for too long, because they don't like it when people invade their personal space. Both, and when I say personal space, I mean both the Pleiades and their actual ships themselves. Ooh, I'm going way too fast. Well, yeah, Mr. Hangman, it does take a lot of staying put for a little bit just to get the signals. Don't worry, it'll get better. Welcome to the stream. We should be able to see Eagle Eye 4. Or 5, rather. There it is. So once we get to Eagle Eye 5, we will decode the first encoded message. Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen today, SA Icon. When SA Icon mentions a hat trick, for those who do not, who are not aware, what happened last week, I got hyperdicted twice, one right off the top of the stream, and I also had a Thargoid structure and an encounter at a Thargoid structure as well, which normally doesn't happen. At least not on camera. But once again, we will park in front of the transmitter and enter stealth. There are a lot of Authority vessels here as well, and while Thargoid cargo is no longer considered illegal, there is one exception to this, and that is if a Thargoid item is picked up from a signal source by itself. As in, it's just a signal source, you enter it, and there's nothing in the area but a single Thargoid prober sensor. In which case, for whatever reason, it's flagged as stolen. That currently applies to one of my Thargoid sensors, but only that one Thargoid sensor. You can actually see there are some Authority vessels right next to me, but the reason they can't actually scan me at this distance is because I've gone into stealth, as I mentioned earlier, by shutting down all of my systems, and the Diamondback is also fitted with a G5 low emissions power plant. The benefit to this is that I won't get fined. And the reason they can't scan me is because my ship heat is so low. If I were to go into silent running, the Anaconda would close the gap to 300 meters, at which point it could scan me anyway. So silent running does not help in this scenario. In the meantime, however, we got about 3 minutes on our hands, so let's go ahead and decode the signal. So this is the system name signal that we got from Eagle Eye 4. So we have to translate this section highlighted right now. So we have HDG. So hotel is an M. D. D is an E. And if I could find it, G is an L. So this is Mel 22. This word over here is going to translate to sector. ES. So that is F. H dash U. Actually, we'll put the dash out, keep the dash out for a split second here. V is a C3 9 A1A, because that's what the I translates to. So this is pointing us at MELS 22 sector FH-U C3-9 planet A1A. Now, double checking the time, we got a little bit. We got 2 minutes. Now, I have here, this is going to be important later. I have here a list of Thargoid structures as known by the folks at the Canon Research Group. So what I'm going to do is take this system real quick and try and find it in the Canon document. And you can see they found found right here under Thargoid Structure 129. So we have our planetary designation and we have coordinates. Now, I won't really need these coordinates once Chapter 4 comes out next week, because I'll just be able to use the deep space probes to map the planet and find the structure that way. Let's see if we've actually been to that star system before really quick. If we have, then, and I've probably already been to the structure in that case. I have not, though, however, in this particular case. And it's a bit of a trek away from the Pleiades, too. 156 light years. So it's quite the distance. In the meantime, let's go ahead and hear out the message from Eagle Eye 5. In another minute or so, if I can figure out where my camera binding is. There we go. Just get this all set up to look all a little fancy here. So we still have about another minute or so before it starts chirping at us. And let me boost the ED audio. Perfect. Now, the reason you may have seen earlier that I put the signal in the system name in Eagle Eye 1's spot on the Word document, and the reason for that is because Eagle Eye 1 and Eagle Eye 4 typically share the same message, 2 and 5 share the same message, and 3 and 6 typically share the same message. But anyway, here's Eagle Eye 5. I'm going to shut up and let you guys hear it.
Niner. 1, 4. 2, 2. 1. 4, 5, 1, 8, 1, Niner. Papa, Delta, Victor, Tango, Oscar, Delta. India, Juliet, Kilo, Hotel, Kilo, Golf, Kilo, Tango, Papa, Papa, Bravo, Romeo, Juliet, India, Golf, Alpha, Delta, Quebec, Delta, Victor, Quebec, Delta, Alpha, Hotel, Delta, Golf, 2, Papa, Delta, Victor, Quebec, Kilo, Oscar, Echo, Hotel, Uniform, Alpha, 2, 3, 8, India, 3, India, Bravo, Juliet, Uniform, Delta, Papa, Quebec, Bravo, Romeo, India.
Alright, at this point, it's just playing the repeated message that will always be the same. So we're going to go ahead and make our way out and make our way to Eagle Eye 6, which is in what will soon be called the Delphi system. I'm just going to call it that, start calling it that now, because that's basically what it is. And that's going to be the case in a week. Oh, do you have to really be? Never mind.
Drive charging.
Something is mass locking me right now. It's that fella. Let's get out of the way.
Four, three, two.
There actually were a lot of high wakes in there. I could have scanned them, but right now I'm not in any critical need of any wake data, so I just let it slide. The shields are a little slow to recharge on this Diamondback because the distributor is only a 2A, I believe. It's either a 2A or a 2D. I think it's a 2D. This Diamondback could boost with a 1D. It's a 2A. It could boost with a 1D, but I elected to go with 2A because it gives me 2 full boosts. Or no, it can only boost with a 2D. Never mind. But it can boost twice with a 2A, which means it's a little bit more efficient for getting off of planets. Alrighty, we're back in the Delphi system now, so let's go ahead and go to Eagle Eye 6. And luckily, one thing that has not been a problem so far is that we haven't been tailed by any pirates. That's usually something that can happen when you're carrying Thargoid cargo. This definitely won't be an issue next week since I'll be piloting a Crate Phantom, which will be armed with lightweight weapons, so I will be able to actually fend off a singular pirate. I've got a plan for it, but I'm not going to put the link in chat because I'm not sure if Coriolis will warp the link again like it did the last time I put it up. You know what? Let's do it for... Let's do that, actually. Let me just put it in chat real quick. This should be the right command. Yes, perfect. Nope. Too early to slow down. So, I built a experimental version of the Crate Phantom in Coriolis. And, hopefully that's the correct one. Let me check the link real quick. Yeah, no, it's wrong. That should not be an 8B shield cell bank. Hold on a second, folks. Let me see if I can fix this. And get you a better link. Yeah, this is what it's supposed to be. Let me go ahead and link that properly in chat for you. Yeah, that's the one you want. And let me go find Eagle Eye 6. I'll integrate this command into Nightbot, that link into Nightbot real quick, just so that way, So that way when I bring up this command later, it's correct. Should be third page, probably. Where's Eagle Eye 6? Right in front of me. Perfect. Change that. And make it... Nope. Make it this. Okay, Nightbot, the command should be updated properly. Where were we? Ah, yes, Eagle Eye 6. Here we are. And it looks like it dropped me below the station. But that's okay, because the transmitter is right here. And it looks like there's nothing threatening in the vicinity, just a cargo vessel. Now, if a pirate were to drop out in front of me, the way I would get around this is by hiding in, like, any of the tunnels in the area. You see that tunnel in front of me right now. The Diamondback can actually fit in that tunnel. A few ships can fit into that tunnel. And the tunnel would be used as sort of a barrier, which would protect me from unwanted pirate attacks. In the meantime, let's go ahead and decode Eagle Eye 5's signal. So here's the Word document again. So I've already decoded the Mel 22 sector part while the signal is being read, because that part's pretty much the same each time. So we have EHU. So that is going to be FM, FM-V. A is a D238, A3A. Sorry, autocorrect's being a pain. Let's make those lowercase i's. A3A. So let's look up. Let's add the dashes where necessary. So that's going to be FM-V D2-38. And let's look this one up. And you can see it, we've found it here. It is Thargoid Structure 138. So we'll be visiting that structure later down the road as well. We got 90 seconds. Let's look up the actual system. Again, quite a ways away from the Pleiades. Not as far as the as Thargoid Structure 129, but still pretty far away. So we're going to be doing quite a bit of traveling in order to get our Thargoid signals today, I feel. Depending on what this message gives out. Now, the way I'm going to handle this one is that I'm actually going to have the Word document on screen during this one, so that way you guys can hear, you can see what I'm listening for, and we'll decode it on the spot instead of at a different Eagle Eye satellite, since we will not need any new signals after this one. I have already verified, at the very least, that Eagle Eye 1, 2, and 3s are duplicates, so we don't need to burn any additional time going to Eagle Eye 1 to hear its message. One thing I failed to mention about the Eagle Eye satellites is that they are only going to release their messages at specific times throughout each hour. We're at Eagle Eye 6, so it's going to be at the last 10-minute interval of the hour, in this case the 50th minute, which is in half a minute. Eagle Eye 1 will transmit at the top of the hour, Eagle Eye 2 10 minutes later, Eagle Eye 3 20 minutes after the hour, Eagle Eye 4 half an hour after the hour. You get the idea. So, let me go ahead and switch for a split second here to do some maintenance, boost the audio once again, and we will load up the Word document now and let you hear Eagle Eye 6.
Niner. 1, 4, 2, 2, 1, 4, 5, 1, 8, 1, Niner.
So that's the number code.
Papa, Delta, Victor, Tango, Oscar, Delta, India, Juliet,
Satellite's being a little slow with me.
Hotel, Kilo, Golf, Kilo, Tango, Papa, Papa, Bravo, Romeo, Juliet, India, Golf, Alpha, Delta, Quebec, Delta, Victor, Quebec, Delta, Alpha.
Alright, and our system name?
Hotel, Delta,
Alright, so that's the HDG, so it's gonna be Mel 22 again.
2, 2, Papa, Delta, Victor, Quebec, Kilo, Oscar,
Let's see where it's taking us this time.
Echo, Sierra, Uniform, Alpha, 2, 6, 7, 2, India, Bravo, Juliet.
Okay, so that was it.
Uniform, Delta,
Quick, switch back to ED.
Quebec,
Turn this
Bravo,
down.
Romeo, India, Quebec,
And let's look that system up really quick. Well, let's not look the system up. Let's
Romeo,
decode the message. So this is going to be Mel 22 sector. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the code
4,
and just paste it down here so I can see the code. So ES is FH V
1,
D267.
1, Niner,
That's planet 2A.
Papa,
So
Delta, Victor,
now
Tango, Oscar, Delta,
let's look that system up real quick. So that's going to be sector FH-V D2-67. Let's check it out.
Delta, Kilo, Golf,
Okay, this is what I was afraid of.
Tango,
I was on the Canon Discord earlier just to check if Eagle Eye was working properly, and one conversation that caught my eye is that there is a typo here. It's not supposed to be FHV, because that system doesn't exist.
Quebec,
In fact, if we look it up right now... Oop. The thing didn't go through. You can actually see it's not pointing to something. So, yeah, there's a typo in the Eagle Eye message. I think, according to the conversation, what it was supposed to say, what this Sierra was supposed to translate to, it gave out this Sierra right here. This wasn't supposed to be a Sierra. This was supposed to be a hotel. Apparently this is supposed to be FMV D2-67. And if you see, it does in fact list Thargoid Structure 149 at Planet 2A, which matches up with the planetary code for what we were given in the Eagle Eye message. So, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to mark these two letters in red and note here that S should be H to give Mel 22 sector. Let me just make that a lowercase s because it'll make something easier later. FM. I'll make that underlined. FM-V -V D2-67 2A. Oh, extra L there. So yeah, that what I always do every Thursday is I double check the Canon Discord just to verify that Eagle Eye is working, just so that way I don't go up on stream and then suddenly there's no Eagle Eye. So let's see where FM-V D2-67 is. It is actually in the vicinity of the other Thargoid structure, a bit farther away actually. So we are still going to go to this particular Thargoid structure first. It should only be 3 jumps away. Yes, it is. Excellent. Let's begin. I do want to adjust some priorities right now. I don't need... I could basically put everything besides thrusters back on Group 1. And the reason I'm keeping thrusters off of Group 1... Oh, nope, that needs to actually be on Group 3. The reason I'm keeping thrusters back on Group 3 is because something that'll make life a little bit easier when I'm doing the sound analysis portion of this decoding session is that I'll be shutting down the Diamondback's engines to reduce my movement, to keep me from moving by accident, because it is position specific. Also, I need to switch back and turn down the sound. Oh, I already did turn down the sound. Never mind.
Frameshift drive charging.
Alright, we got our shields back. Good thing, too, because we're going to probably need them to land at this Thargoid structure here.
3, 2.
So, yes, we're going to the 3 systems, and the 3 Eagle Eye signals, as we've been discussing so far before, they all point to Thargoid structures, and we now need to go get some special signals from those Thargoid structures, and this is going to take roughly 25 to 30 minutes, depending on how my driving is.
Fuel scooping.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why you want Thargoid sensors and probes in your inventory. You absolutely cannot do this without a sensor and a probe. At least one sensor and probe. The Thargoid links you can pick up inside the Thargoid structure, and if you need a spot to farm Thargoid sensors, you can farm them here, which you're not going to see because we're about to jump, but I'll display that system again in a moment. But once you get the probe, the deep space probes, it'll be way easier to find the crash site that has the Thargoid sensors. Because that crash site... Oh, you see that there is a target marker all the way out in Mel 22. That WJ Costin fella is actually going to try and interdict me right now. You can tell that a pirate is coming after you because it automatically loads in the nanosecond you jump into the system. So we're going to just go ahead and beat this interdiction really quick. It's the Diamondback, so it should be able to do this without too much difficulty. Getting a signal source right now would actually make life considerably easier. Did I honk the system already? I think I did, but just to be safe. Okay, this escape vector wasn't too argumentative this time, thankfully. In the meantime, we are looking for planet, if I could find it, planet 2A, which is located right here. So let's go then. I'm going to put on a blanket because I'm freezing. Well, more so my arms are cold. I don't know why the game is slowing me down. It must be near an asteroid belt or something. Alrighty, now I'm nice and snugged up and warm. Much better. Always do science with a warm body. I have some collector limpets installed on the ship as well, just in case we do some planetary landings. So the collector limpets can pick up the Thargoid links as they're falling towards planets without too much difficulty. Granted, if we had... most planets will be... if we're going to someplace like an Inra base or something, the gravity should be fairly light for the most part. There are some planets that are a bit heavier, but we can adapt accordingly. Alright, so I just marked the planet so that way I know it's there. And we are looking for the planetary coordinates, and I will find them in the Thargoid in the canon list and link them in chat in the in-game chat, so that way you guys can see. If we paste that, spread that out a little bit. There we go. Planetary coordinates -74 by -82.3. Now, for lucky and it's on the sunny side of the planet, I'm also going to have an additional visual cue for where the Thargoid structure is, but we have to kind of hope we get that visual cue. Which we're actually not too far off. If we actually travel eastward, we're already on the correct latitude coordinates. So if we just travel eastward a bit to the longitude coordinate of -82.3, which I just actually overshot, in fact. So if we take it a bit slow, we should find somewhere. We need to go back west. Ah, there it is. You see there's a little green pinwheel right in the middle of the ground there. That is the Super Cruise graphic of a Thargoid structure. It'll become much more profound once we enter normal space. Right now. Much better. Alrighty, let's go park at the Thargoid structure.
Cargo scope deployed.
Oh, right. Would help if I actually put down the landing gear, not the cargo scoop.
Retracted.
Duh.
Landing gear deployed.
Oh, come on. There is a lot of flat terrain, but sometimes the game can really just argue with you on what it defines as a landing spot. Case in point. There we go. I'm actually going to shut off the wave scanner because it's not going to be helping us right now. It's just going to be noisy. We are going to take from this, from our ship, a Thargoid probe and a Thargoid... Actually, I'm going to take the stolen Thargoid sensor. Luckily, the game elects to separate them for you. You can use either a Thargoid probe, sensor, or link to get through this door right here. It'll open as long as you have one of those 3 items in your inventory. We want to go this way, and we actually want to take a minute to scan that Thargoid uplink device directly above me. What this will do, as well as scanning the Thargoid device in the center, is that this will allow the location to appear on my nav panel later down the road. And this is a Class 3 structure, since it has these secondary doors. Quite a lot of scavengers here, but luckily, as long as you don't provoke them, they are harmless, and ramming into them does not count as provoking them. This item over here wants the Thargoid probe, so we shall give it that. Which means, by rule, this one right here wants the sensor. The rotational order going clockwise is always probe sensor link, as far as when what items the machine in the center wants. We're just going to grab a Thargoid link off of back here. Driving in these Thargoid structures can be a little bit tough sometimes, especially since this is they're all on lower gravity planets. But with that being said, we have what we need, so let's go ahead and drop off our Thargoid link here. It'll light up the device in the center, which we will now scan. And what this will do is it'll do two things. The first is the light show. So we think this is some kind of Thargoid star map, except we can't really pinpoint any locations to it yet, as far as what's where. You will also notice we got 2 discovered unknown signals. We'll be playing those down under certain circumstances later, but this is basically how we're going to find our targets for the week. I am now going to take the Thargoid link and probe back to the ship. This light show goes on for about 2 minutes, by the way. And I had to take the probe back because I don't have any, I don't have spares. The sensor I'm going to leave behind because I have enough extra that leaving this behind will be inconsequential. This will also allow me to skip a trip back to the ship later, or back into the into the structure to get the sensor. So it's just a matter of optimizing speed in this case. For whatever reason, you can actually collide. What am I stuck on? Oh, a random rock that just so happens to be in the ground here. It looked for a minute I was stuck on nothing. I was actually about to enter classified camera mode and find out. But no, we want to go this way now and get to the ship. If you're fast enough, you can actually hear the humming of the Thargoid star map while you're in your ship. But I think I took more than 2 minutes, so the star map has reset already. Let's go into Super Cruise, and let's go to the next location on our list, which is Mel 22 Sector FM-V D2-38, Planet A3A. Which should be right around the corner, in fact. As such it is. It is one jump out, but we do have to do a little bit of traveling to get off the planet. And it looks like another pirate is coming after us, but he will not be a factor since we will not be leaving orbital cruise. Can I see my exit point? Yes, I can. It is right there. So we'll just ascend a little bit, wait for it to become clear, and make the jump.
Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two,
We now need to go to planet A3A, so let's find that real quick. A3A. Here's 3, A3A. Perfect.
Fuel scoop disengaged. Fuel scooping.
We'll grab a little extra gas while we're here, since we will be doing a lot of traveling back to the bubble later down the road.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
While we're traveling, I actually want to go to the galaxy map for a second. Let's see what the situation is regarding damaged stations this week. It does look like one of the stations near Upsilon Aquarii did catch an attack today, and it is the Bierubese system. The station there, which is a Coriolis known as Garnier Station, has been attacked this week. It looks like it was the only one, though. The other two systems are in targeted systems were in very close proximity. A 40 light-year radius, in fact, from that system. So, very interesting. We were able to save 2 systems this week. As of, like, the last week or so, we've only been able to save one... Up until 2 weeks ago, I should say, we've only been able to save 1 starport from attacks, and the Thargoids have been getting a little aggressive and taking out 2 of them otherwise. But the last couple of weeks, the Axie folks, I guess they're back from the beta, so they're a little busier fixing things in the bubble. And so they're keeping the starport body count to a relative minimum. Is that good enough of a gravitic break? Not particularly, but the gas giant should slow us down otherwise either way. If I just keep if I just keep on pumping the brakes. Which is not happening, so we're actually going to now pull away a little bit here. For this planet, we are looking for the planetary coordinates, if I can find them. Planetary coordinates -49 by -159. Let's link those in chat. Like so. So where are we right now? We're already pretty close on latitude, but actually we're already very close to the structure as it stands. Let's see. We're at -49 now. And we're actually coming up on -159 already. So we just need to progress down about 10 more latitude degrees, or longitude degrees, excuse me. Oops. Let's start dropping out here. We should be able to see the Thargoid structure at this point. We might actually be directly on top of it, so I'm actually going to have to turn the ship around. It should be, yep, there it is directly to our left there. You can see it at the top of your screen, passing by now. We'll do a boost to turn around. Like so. And here we are. And this is a pretty low G planet, so I'm perfectly confident that going in at 400 meters per second at this speed is a good idea. Because the farther down farther steep I go down, the less of an impact with this low gravity it will have on my brakes. Granted, the Diamondback has fairly decent brakes, but even still, don't want to chance it. Let's prepare to pick up our things. We'll be taking our probe and sensor once again.
Low gravity warning. Cargo hold at maximum capacity. Unknown system dysfunction.
And let's go ahead and log this location real quick via the that target right there. Oh right, I actually have to use the data link scanner. And you can see again that scavenger does not seem to mind. There are quite a number of scavengers here, so if you wanted to farm Thargoid materials to get tech broker items, you most certainly could do so. This goes for pretty much any Thargoid structure, really. You want the sensor, rather, excuse me, so we'll give you the sensor. And you would like the probe, I would wager, so we'll give you the probe. Like so. Watch out for those gas vents, like this one right here. That will actually blow you backwards if you are too close to it. You'll notice that this room is actually, no, I'm thinking of a different room in the structure. Never mind. Five shots will dislodge a link from those tentacles. So yeah, I don't want to be too close to that gas vent, or exactly that happens. We want to go right. Go here. And drop this thing. Target the butt. Oops. Okay, luckily that did not anger the scavengers. Alright, so we just got 2 more messages. We also got a scanned message from scanning the the uplink signal. We're just going to ignore that. And, oh, looky that. The link and probe are conveniently right in front of my faces. Good. We'll just take them and go back to the ship. Quick, easy, done. Works every time. So, if you leave these Thargoid structures after completing the puzzle, sometimes a Thargoid interceptor will come down to greet you. It won't do anything, it's harmless. But it's just pretty cool to look at. Then again, the Thargoids are generally pretty cool to look at as far as their mystery and stuff. And you can see why having the double boost out of a 2A distributor, engine-focused distributor, is very beneficial for getting off a planet quickly.
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
And our final destination is going to be Mel 22 Sector FH-U C3-9. Oops, I just did something wrong. Which should be right around the corner. Yeah, it is. It's only 2 jumps. We're gonna skip that with a grade 3 synthesis. Doing a little bit of math. Yeah, we have to do grade 3. At this point, I'm not too crazy about burning polonium at this point because it's not used for any, particularly critical, engineering components. So we're just gonna skip that jump and go straight to the system. Now, if I were in my jumper conda, I would actually almost be able to make this jump without any with only without any help, but it would still need a level 1 synthesis because I'm just a couple light years short on the jumper conda.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Alright, let's go ahead and gas up a little bit as we check our surroundings.
Fuel scooping.
And we are looking for planet A1A, which is this one right here. Let's go. And this will be a nice opportunity for us to top off the tank completely. So this is where Eagle Eye 4/1 signal is pointing. Now the reason I do the Eagle Eye systems, target systems in the order of 3, 2, 1 instead of 1, 2, and 3 is because it organizes the signals in a way that I can better. It's better for organizing the unknown signals in the chat log. That way I can decode them a little faster on my equipment once I do finish. Once I do start actively decoding the signals. And we will be doing that in just a moment. Just a few moments, actually, after we pick up the signals from the last Thargoid structure. Interestingly, two of the signals were both, two of the Thargoid structures we headed to were in the FM-V D2 region. In one case we had D2-38, another D2-67. So they were very close to each other, as you saw earlier. It was only like a, 40 light year proximity? Something along that line? I think it was actually only 30, but it was a fairly close proximity, is the point. I'm just glad I won't be having to manually decipher these coordinates by hand anymore, or by eyeballing, once the probes come out, because they'll just be able to target the structure for me. Let me just look up where that Thargoid structure is. A1A is on this set of planetary coordinates. Hold on, I gotta adjust my speed. There we go. And if at any point you folks would like me to stop and like take a minute to explain like how everything works, by all means please say so, because I realize this is a very science intensive subject and this can be tricky for some folks. What are those coordinates again? 40 by 141.15. Seems easy enough. Pretty big drop zone. 39 by... Ooh, good. We're actually already pretty much right there. We actually might even be able to see the structure relatively soon. Yeah, because we just passed 39. So that means 141 is this way, and yeah, we should definitely be able to see the structure by now. Yep, there it is. It's right there. A little below the 60 degree drop angle, but we can just do a bit of a arced turn to get in. Perfect. I did oh, I didn't black out. Never mind. I thought I blacked out for a second. You can lose control of your ship when that happens. This is a very low-gravity planet, interestingly.
Landing gear deployed.
Is that an entrance? Yes. Beautiful. Sometimes you can transfer cargo in the middle of the
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
in the middle of the pickup, in the middle of the drop-off animation. All right, last Thargoid structure. Excuse me, pardon me. Again, they won't attack you if you don't actually shoot them. So, you can run into them all you want. I don't know if they actually take collision damage. I don't think they do. You know what? Let me scan that uplink device real fast since I see it right in the corner of my eye. Interestingly, all the structures, I think, all the structures are Type 3s, since they have that secondary door in the center, leading to the center. If they didn't have those or they had rock slides, they'd be classified as a Class 2. You'll notice that this room is particularly bright. The reason for this is, for whatever reason, the Diamondback's lights pierce this area, pierce the Thargoid structures. So the lights are actually shining through into this room for whatever reason, even though this area clearly has no windows. Also, who put that rock there? This low gravity is really messing with my driving. Luckily, it won't be a problem for much longer. We hope. Alright, last Thargoid device scan, and let's get those last two signals. Like so. And we're only going to take the probe back. We really don't need the link at this point. We already have 5, I think. So we're just going to go ahead and take the other items back, just the probe back to the ship. The reason I'm taking the probe back is just in case I need to buy off a pirate and he demands cargo value. Dumping the probe will give him 400,000 credits of cargo, so that will hopefully discourage him and buy him off nice and quickly. If not, worst case, we also have our Thargoid sensors as well. And no interceptor drop this time around. Alright, let's get the ship out of here. So now we are going to go to my favorite portion of this session, which is the audio, the signal decoding audio section.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
So we're going to pull away from the planet so that way we are not affected by its gravity. And by pull away, I mean get roughly quarter of a light second or so away from it. Basically to the point where we're only in the gas giant's sphere of influence, because the gas giant doesn't have a gravitic pull attached to it. At least not from as far as where we're going to be. I do want to double check my priorities, because sometimes for whatever reason, my thrusters went back to priority 1. They do that sometimes randomly, but I'm going to be turning them back to priority 3 because I actually want them to shut down when I deploy. And the reason the whole stealth strategy even works is courtesy of this frame shift wake scanner, because it overclocks the power plant and allows me to shut things down when I do deploy with the help of priorities. Makes life real easy in that regard. Now I want to get... How much further are we away from the... we're out of the planet sphere of influence, but I want to go just a bit further. That should be good. You also see that we now have the Thargoid structure on the nav panel as well from that. So we are going to come to a full stop. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drop a Thargoid link directly below me, attempting to ascend at a rate of 35 meters per second to offset the momentum of dropping. Unfortunately, I didn't do it that well. So the link is still kind of drifting down. We will mitigate this by giving it just a little bit of a boop. Like that. So that little boop will slow... I just booped it again, actually. That should slow the link down a little bit, at least decrease its momentum. And we can now approach the link. Whoa, not too close. From a very specific position. We want to get directly in front of the link's deflector dish section, if you will. The link is still kind of drifting, but we should be able to make this work with what we have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut down my engines. I'm going to be quiet a bit, boost game volume up to maximum, and let you guys hear the link, the discovered audio log from the Thargoid structure, and the link's response.
Thrusters online. Thrusters offline. Power plant capacity exceeded.
I'm going to play that again because I was not in optimal position, so the link sounds were a bit muffled, but this will be a lot better. The positioning of this, in proximity to the link is incredibly specific. You also must be targeting the link to hear the chirping. Much better. So let me get out of this.
Thrusters online.
Pick up the link with the cargo scoop real quick.
Deployed. Thrusters offline. Power
So,
plant capacity exceeded.
let me talk
Cargo
a
scoop
bit about
retracted.
what we just heard as soon as I do a little bit of maintenance here. Doop-a-doo, doop-a-doo, doop-a-doo. And just do this. Get rid of all that. And do this. Okay. So, what you just heard from the Thargoid link was a series of high and low pitched chirping noises with a dolphin chirp every once in a while. So the link generates binary numbers, 3 pairs, each pair of numbers separated, each pair of numbers containing a dolphin chirp that acts as a separator in the 2 numbers. So it separates the numbers. So let's open a calculator. We're going to try and we're going to convert the binary numbers to an equivalent decimal value. So we have binary setting right now on our calculator in our programmer mode, and lows are treated as 1s, highs are treated as 0s. So we enter for the first number, it was 6 L's. So we're entering 6 1s, and that is a number 63. So let's tab a couple of times. We'll put in the number 63 separator. And the last number was a low, 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 high, low, high, high. 500. So that's our first set of numbers. The next set of numbers is a 001, 101, 011. That is a 107. Divided by the same numbers, actually. So that is also a 500. And the last one is a 011110111, and that is the decimal value of 247, and that is divided by 011111010, 250. Oops. So let's convert these numbers real fast to a equivalent single decimal value. So we're going to take 63 over 500 and get 0.126. Whoops. For this number, we are going to get, let's see, this is going to be 0.214, excuse me. And this last one is going to be 247 over 250, and that is going to be a 0.988. So we've just converted the numbers to a singular decimal value, but the problem is we don't know what they represent nor what the actual distance unit is in human terms. The numbers are in Thargoid units. So what we're going to do first is we are going to convert the numbers into human light years. How we do that is with the help of the Thargoid probe. So if I bring out my little decryption guide here, we know thanks to the Thargoid probe, we have the Thargoid probe chirps out the distance to a very specific Col 70 system, in this case Col 70 sector FY-NC21-3. In the Merope system, the binary chirp value that it gives when it's orbiting a planet for that number is a 001. In the Merope system, Merope is 871.018 light years away from Col 70. So because from this, we have a conversion of Thargoid units to human light years, and therefore we can take 871.018 and store that. Like so. Let us now take our numbers and convert them to human light years. So multiply by 0.126, and we get 109.75. Take the next number And we get 186.4. And our last number is a 0.988. That gives us 860.57. So now we have our distance figures in human light years. So these are effectively a triangulation coordinate. Triangulation coordinates. The number, we're looking for something that is 109 light years away from something, 186 light years away from something else, and 860 light years away from something even further away. So how we know what those three locations are is courtesy of this image right here. So if you play, this is actually what the Thargoid structure audio signals look like per se. If you were to go into a recording software like Audacity, if you look at the audio as a spectrogram under certain conditions, this buzzing translates to this image. So to show you guys what's on the image, we have 1, 2, and a 3 in the center. As these are represented in binary as well. So you can see there's like a 001, 010, 011. We have the Merope system on the left because the planetary structure here is the exact same as Merope, such as with the star, the belt, and the 4 gas giants with the occasional moons. On the right side, we have Col 70, or at least what we think is going to be Col 70, because we can't actually get in there yet. On the top, we have the originating system that the signal came out of. And on the bottom, we have the target system where the signal is going to, as noted by the solid and hollow dots as consistent with, for example, our human compasses, like on the bottom left there. So that's because of the 1, 2, and 3, we know that the first number is the distance from the target system to the Merope system. The second number is the distance from the target to the Thargoid structure. The third number is the distance from the target to Col 70. So we now know how far away the target is from all three of those particular locations. We now need to triangulate this, and what I have for you is a triangulator link, which I will link in chat in just a second. That's the ED launcher. I don't need that. Let me load up this and put the link in chat. I'll also link it in the stream chat as well, so you guys can see it. Unfortunately, the hyperlink doesn't work on Twitch for whatever reason, on Twitch auto correct for whatever reason. So let's load this back up. And so what I've done here is I've entered in the origin system here, I have entered the system name in all lowercase letters. It should be noted, it must all be lowercase. And you then enter the binary numbers. You can either do 0s and 1s or L's and H's, it does not matter. But you do need to make sure you include the vertical separator sign properly. And in doing so, if we hit search, what will happen is this triangulator will pick a system that closely matches the triangulation given by the numbers we've given it. And how it does this is it finds the galactic coordinates of the target system, of the origin system, I should say, the Thargoid structure. It takes the galactic coordinates of Merope and Col 70, as well as the three values, the three decoded number values, and then generates 3 spheres using those 3 distance numbers as their radius. So when the 3 spheres intersect in this fashion, they can only intersect at 2 possible locations. So the 2 intersect points it came up with are -99 by -254.5 by -364, and -30 by -51 by -337. So it's looking for a system that is the closest to these coordinates. In this case, the system it gave us was HIP 23022, which is, if I could find it, right here. So you can see that it gave a relatively low error number for the Merop and Cole 70 numbers, but it was a little high on the error for Mel 22 FH-U C3-9. But the average error ended up being a 0.2, which generally any error values, average error values below 0.4 indicate an accurate triangulation. So let's check the system out. It is a system that is uninhabited and I've been to before, but notice how it is in like the top right area of the Pleiades. So my initial suspicion, based on history, is that this is a Thargoid structure. Because it's far away from the Pleiades, it's not on the route back to the bubble, such as down there, and it's not near any place where an INRA base would normally be hiding. So more than likely this is a Thargoid structure if there is something there, but let's mark the system for now on our document. At signal 1, we are going to put HIP 23022, and now we are going to decode the remaining signals. So how I'm going to do this is I'm going to eject another link. Unfortunately, I just did a horrible job following the offset, so I'm actually going to pick that link back up real quick and do that again properly. There we go. That should relatively offset the momentum generated by the cargo scoop jettison there, and it looks like it did for the most part, but it's drifting just a very small amount.
Cargo scoop retracted.
To the left, actually. So we're going to go this way. A little more to the right. Gonna inch our way into it. Like so. Gonna wait for it to boop onto the cockpit, if at all. I'm actually going to start playing signal 1 down in front of it so I can get into position as soon as I know that it's stopped, which it has. So let's get into position as we hear signal 1. Just so that way I'm in optimal position, and then once I'm in optimal position, I can hear all of the chirps flawlessly. Don't crash into the stupid thing. That's as good as it's going to get, so let's lock our position.
Power plant capacity exceeded.
And we're going to play down signal 2 now. I'm going to wait till the separator, then play it now. As long as the first signals finish up, the chirps finish up by the time this unknown signal finishes playing down, then the link will respond appropriately. So, this is signal 2. We're going to enter it into this page. I've made separate pages. That was fast. Actually, that Merop number is 1/2. So we'll be we'll actually be decoding that later, but just note that Merop number is exactly 0.5. Because that was a 1/2. I do need to play these down a little bit quickly, though, because I do, the link health is limited. I do have collector limpets, though, to pick up the, thing quickly. So that is signal 3 playing down now. Interesting. Okay, signal 4. Now, interestingly, this number here, that is a 1 over 5. This number here is a 1 over 5, so this is very close to the Pleiades, because the distance from the structure is only 0.2. So it's roughly 180 light years or so, you figure? Here's signal 4. This signal is more towards the bubble. Okay, signal 5. Queue up signal 6 and load the decoder. This is going to be towards the Pleiades. And signal 6. We should have enough health to play this last signal down in time. I do need to queue up the collector limp. Be ready to queue up the collector limp, though. How much health does the Link have? 18%. Yeah, that's plenty. Alright, signal 6. This is going to be towards the bubble as well. Great, we got all of them. We're going to back up a little bit so that the link, so that the collector limpet does not loop around the link. All right, let's go ahead and decode these signals. So, we already decoded the first one. Now, the way I can tell ahead of time that a pick is going to be whether in the bubble somewhere towards the Pleiades is based on where the first one digit is. In this case, in the top first number, the first one digit is the 6th digit, and the first digit in the second number is the 9th digit, if you go from right to left. Binary, effectively, the number always increases the more digits that are involved. So 6 digits over 9 digits effectively means that this number on the right is way higher than the left number, so that's how we know the Merope number for this one is small. For this one, the Merope number was a 1 over 2 in this case. So very interesting. I'm very curious to know what this number plays out to be. 0.631, interesting. And it gave us the Otby system. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's in that system. It's pretty close to where that last attack station ended up being. It's actually pretty far out there, too, from the bubble. But it does contain multiple starports with an ammonia world in the vicinity. So, good bet that this is a correct triangulation for the moment. The typical pattern of attacks has been 3 in Pleiades targets or INRA bases or something in the Pleiades with 3 starports. Usually one signal from each eagle eye from each structure is a Pleiades target, the other is an in-bubble target. So this is the signal 1, for example, is the in Pleiades target, Signal 2 is the in-bubble target. So, with that said, let's decode signal 3. Now this secondary number was a 1 over high-low, low-high-low. That's a 5. So the middle number is 0.2. So this points us at hip 24007, average error 0.027. Let's look that up. And this is a system that I have not yet visited, so we will make a note of this. And decode signal 4 rather, excuse me. This is going to be another in-bubble target, and it is pointing relatively close to the Penuri system. Let's have a look. What's that over there? That's Bierobese again, so, again, not very far away from where the last station attack actually took place. But we have an Earth-like, an ammonia world, and 2 starports. Very interesting. So the Penuri system is most likely a correct triangulation once again. Signal 5, this is going to be the last in Pleiades target, is hip 16795, average error 0.025. Let's take a look. It's actually right around the corner to me. So this is probably going to be our first destination. So it is 68 light years out from here. It's also someplace I have not yet been to, apparently, once again. So we will paste that. And our last signal in bubble... Oh, error origin. I forgot to actually enter the origin system. Oopsie! Excuse me? You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. No, it's not any of those. It's FM-V D2-67. Yeah, that's the one. Forgot to enter an origin system. The last one is 63G Capricorni with an average error of 0.027 once again. So pretty accurate triangulations according to the triangulator at least. And again, very close to Bierobese. Quite far away on this side of the bubble. The Lusanda system where my anti-Xenoconda is parked, it was actually one of the systems targeted last week by the Thargoids. You can actually see it's right around the corner. So it seems that this particular set of in-bubble targets, oh wow, 3 Earth-likes, or 2 Earth-likes and a water, along with an ammonia world back here, and again, there are 4 starports here. This is going to be very interesting. So 63G Capricorni is our last system. So it looks like they're going for Yuri Grom space today. Very interesting. But our first destination is going to be hip 16795, as that is the closest in Pleiades target we have right now. Let's make the let's begin the traveling. How much, what's my jump range right now? 56? I can get away with a G1 synthesis to skip a jump.
Thrusters online.
And we can also remove the thruster priority unit. And just a moment. There we go, turn the sound down, since we are now done with that portion of the stream.
3, 2, 1.
Here we are. Now, there is a lot of stuff in the area. I'm a little bit concerned about the fact that there are... Okay, there's nothing landable back there. So there's just a ton of stuff here. Now, again, as I mentioned previously, my suspicion is that this is a Thargoid structure. So what I'm going to do is actually look up hit 16795 on the cannon list to see if it has a Thargoid structure in this system. In fact, it does. Thargoid Structure 135 on planet A10F. So let's go pay a visit to A10F then. Which is this way. I have planetary coordinates as well, so I'm going to enter those really quick into the chat box so I can see them. Do that. So as mentioned previously, my suspicions so far seem to be confirmed that this is pointing to a Thargoid structure, but we will verify this in a moment by dropping a Thargoid link right over the location where the Thargoid structure is expected to be. So we'll get relatively close to the planetary coordinates that we were given by Canon, and we will go ahead and check a link there. So there's a lot of planets directly in front of the target, so we're going to do a gravitic break over here, a multi-gravitic break. Like so. Except it was not strong enough. Alright, come to a stop. If we do have a Thargoid structure here, I am going to try and scan the data link node, or at the very least something that I can use to bookmark that location for later. Granted, this won't be an issue once we use the mapper probes, but even still. Anything we can do to make our life easier, we shall. Minus 25 by 30. So we're close to minus 25, but to get to 30, we need to go southwest.
Flight engaged.
Whoops, we just passed minus 25. So once we get to relatively close to 30, I'm going to drop out. Minus 25, 8. And so we're going to drop out right here. Hold position for a split second here. And now we will drop a Thargoid link and play down signal 5. Oops, too far forward. I need to be going backwards right now. Alright, play down signal 5, if I could find it. There it is. Where's the Thargoid link? It is right there. So, you will see, the link has just activated a laser pointer, and it is now pointing almost straight down. And you can kind of see it in the distance, but there is a sort of green blotch down there in the direction of the laser pointer. It'll be easier if I use classified camera to show it to you. But yeah, you can see it right there. That green blotch in the center, that is the Thargoid structure that the Thargoid link is targeting.
Programming limpet.
So let's go ahead and grab the Thargoid link via collector limpet.
Cargo scoop deployed. Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
And we'll travel towards the structure. I'm going to try and drop out relatively soon. Unfortunately, I'm dropping a little bit fast right here.
Hull integrity.
Unfortunately, that's going to be an E-drop, which is not a big deal, but still something I don't like doing. Let's hit the gas, and we'll just descend to the structure via gravity. And just in case, let's get the landing gear ready, just in case we need to make a hard landing. I'll put my engines back on when I'm about 7 kilometers away.
Landing gear deployed.
But yeah, by shutting off your engines, you fall faster. You can actually hear the DBX creaking as we approach the structure. Unfortunately, we're a little bit offset to the bottom left. We are going to have to fix that. In fact, it might as well just be in our best interest to activate engines now. Oh no, we'll pull up just a little bit to line ourselves up, then kill the engines again. And now we'll put engines back on. It looks like this is an active Thargoid structure because you can see Thargoid links are targetable from back there. So it looks like this is an active Thargoid structure. I'm not going to bother checking what type it is. But I do know it does look like it's an active. Well, actually, it's easy to find out if it's active. I can just look up the Canon page. So let me just quickly check that now. If this is an active site, it is an active site, so I will make a note of that. Thargoid Structure 135, and that is an active structure. Now, let's see if we can find, without having to go into the, well, actually, if we have to go into the structure, it's no big deal. It'll only take a few seconds. Just gonna take a Thargoid probe with me. I don't need to take anything else too fancy.
Low gravity warning.
Take anything, really. It doesn't really matter what it is, as long as it's something the base will accept as an entry key for the door. Can we see any uplink devices from up here? Yes, we can. So we're just going to target it and scan it from back here. That's all we need to do. This will pin the Thargoid structure to the nav panel. Like so. Alrighty then, our next destination is going to be HIP 24007.
Landing gear retracted.
Which is this way. Quite a bit of a trek, but one we can make right away, since we do not have to super cruise before we exit the planet.
Four, three, two,
still doing pretty good on fuel for the time being, so we don't have to worry too much about that for a bit.
Drive charging.
I will, however, start, what system are we jumping to again? HIP 24007. So I'm going to look up that system on Canon as well and see if there's a known Thargoid structure there, and there is. Thargoid Structure 47 is located on planet 1B, so we'll be heading in that direction momentarily. If you guys would like to, see... if you guys would like this link as well, I am putting it in chat for you right now. This is the list of Thargoid structures as known currently by Canon.
Frameshift drive charging.
You will have to change the tab, though, to actually say site list.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, Macubus. Welcome to the stream.
Fuel scooping. Frameshift drive charging.
Yes, Macubus. I had one minor typo. It was just one letter. But I kind of already knew about it ahead of time because the folks at Canon were talking about it as well. I checked the Canon Discord to make sure that the... yeah, that's the one. I just checked the Canon Discord to make sure that, at the very least, Eagle Eye was working today. And in the conversations, something caught my eye that there was a typo. So I made sure to make a note of that. HIP 24077. Where's the Thargoid structure in this system again? 1B. Okay, I thought it was B1. But no, it's here, supposedly. So we'll go check it. Planetary coordinates are coming up.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
There we go. And this is signal 3. Now, the next, the in-bubble targets are going to be interesting this week because the in-bubble targets all had multiple starports in them. So I'm curious whether or not this is a precursor to the incursion state where we could be seeing multiple stations attacked at once in the same system. But yeah, I only had one typo this week with Eagle Eye, and that was about it. Really random typo, too. It will certainly be a Macubus, and for those who are wondering, I will be taking the update live, but not the nanosecond it launches. I do have to work Tuesday morning, so I will not be home until, like, noon. But I'm not going to actually be streaming the update until after, until around 7 or 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Actually, I think I told the FDev guys 8 o'clock Eastern Time when they posted on Twitter, hey, give us your times and we'll give you some, we'll put you on our schedule. But yeah, I'm going to be streaming the Beyond Chapter 4 update at 8 o'clock on Tuesday evening, Eastern Time. My first order of business on the list will be to engineer a Crate Phantom for the next Thargoid Thursday, in fact. So I'm going to be taking a few measures. I might actually take the preemptive ahead of time over the weekend and pre-engineer a couple of modules, since I already have the materials for them. And I'll probably just use my Anaconda as a ferry. We are looking for the coordinates of 43 by minus 162.
Orbital flight
So we need to go... we need to go northeast, believe it or not. Nope, that's the wrong button. Alright, so we're about to hit 43. There we go, there we go. (43) by minus 162. We're just gonna let the longitude coordinate flow. Oops, I actually just overshot the, oh no I didn't. I didn't overshoot the longitude yet. (43). Whoops, stop. Okay, so we just hit 162. I now need to find 43. Well, not really. I just need to find the structure. Let's have a peek. Yoo-hoo. Where are ya? Oh, I just passed 162, actually. So, there it is. I see it. It's just on the top left of your screen. And now it is above me. Right here. And it is a safe bet that this is where the link is pointing to. Based on previous Eagle Eye history. So we're going to go ahead and find an uplink node here to mark this Thargoid structure.
Landing gear deployed.
And this Thargoid structure is also active. This is Thargoid Structure 47.
Low gravity warning.
Grab ourselves. We actually don't really need to grab any Thargoid cargo. If we can see the links, if we can see the uplink nodes from far away.
Open system disruption.
So we can just target it from back here. Fair enough, Amacubus. Everybody's got their goals, I think, at this point for Chapter 4. Like I said, my first objective is going to be to engineer a Mamba. Not a Mamba, a Crate Phantom. After that, it's going to be a Mamba. But my first priority will be the Crate Phantom, and I'll be dedicating my streams on Friday and Saturday to preemptively engineering some of the gear with the help of my Jumper Conda.
Landing gear retracted.
And our final in Pleiades target is HIP 23022, which should be right around the corner. In fact, it is. It's one jump over. Oh, we need to go into Super Cruise. Darn it.
Shift drive charging.
I don't think I'm going to change which ship is going to be my mining vessel. I think it's still going to be the cutter. But I am going to have to make some... I'm going to have to sack a couple of its weapons in order to get the new gear. Because using the new gear is, in fact, is more efficient now. Because of the new, the modified yields. Oh, the system plot got canceled. What did I say? It was HIP 23022, right? Yes. Let's do that. And let's look up the coordinates. B2A. Okay. So we know where we're going. Yeah, it depends on how if you want your vessel to be able to defend itself, I would say. If you're going for a pure miner and you want something medium and maneuverable, the Python is your best bet. But if you want something large that has a bit of extra weaponry at the cost of maneuverability, then the Cutter is my personal recommendation. The Cutter or the Anaconda. The Anaconda works too. The Type 9 is also not a bad option either, since the new items are only size 1 or 2. The Abrasion Blaster is a 1, the Seismic Charge Launcher and Displacement Missiles are 2s. I think they're actually 1s or 2s, but they're primarily going to be 2s. We need to go to B something or other, B2A. Here. 15k light seconds. Okay, it's not the worst distance out there. In the meantime, however, I will play down for you some Galnet articles, because a couple of Galnet articles have popped up over the last couple of days. So let's play those down for a little bit. We are going to start with... we're going to start with this one.
Merger creates mega corporation. Two eminent corporations have merged to form one of the largest pharmaceutical companies in the galaxy. Allied Medical Industries, based in Alliance Space, has united with NeoCell Inc., a conglomerate that supplies medicines to a great many independent systems. The new mega corporation, Neo Medical Industries, will sell drugs, equipment and services to both Alliance and independent systems. The merger was closely monitored by the Interstellar Health Organization, IHO, an official inter-superpower body that regulates developments in medical science. In the pharmaceutical arena, only the Vandermeer Corporation, which supplies medicines exclusively within federal territory, is of a comparable size to the newly formed Neo Medical Industries.
Okay, time out. Typo in a Galnet article. That's something you don't see every day. Okay, let's, why is there no audio for this one? Alright, I guess I'll read it myself. Independent company Vitadyne Labs has developed an innovative new form of nanomedicine. Professor Katrian Rook published the following press release. Nanomeds are sophisticated pharmaceuticals that use nanoscale materials to repair cell damage on a molecular level. They can heal any injury in a fraction of the normal time and can potentially cure almost any disease and infection. Yeah, right. Furthermore, regular use of nanomeds affects cellular sensei, I guess, drastically slowing the aging process. In theory, nanomed users will live between 30 and 50 years longer and will enjoy near perfect health during those extra decades. After months of trials, we are inviting medical authorities, including the Interstellar Health Organization, to review our data. Pending approval, we hope to have Vitadyne nanomeds on the market soon. Now, this could either be a rare commodity or perhaps a commodity to throw states out of systems out of outbreak, perhaps? Who knows? Maybe. And hello, Stratus127. Welcome to the stream. Oh, 7 to you. So, a couple of interesting medical Galnet articles for this, for the last couple of days. Yeah, unfortunately our structure is at the B star, which is, not great, but, eh. It actually won't be an issue, it'll be a little bit less of an issue once the FSS comes out, because then I'll be able to know preemptively that there is a Thargoid structure on the planet without having to go to it. And then I could just use the mapper probes. I cannot wait to finally get my hands on those mapper probes. The mapper probes and the FSS in general are just going to make life so much easier when it comes to looking for stuff. I know I've gushed over it like 10 million times in the beta, but I still can't get over it. I should probably put those planetary coordinates into my nav panel, shouldn't I? Nope. 27 by minus 129. So yeah, all of these Thargoid structures are unfortunately already known. There's only been one case, one known case, where the Eagle Eye results have actually led to a previously unknown Thargoid structure. And that was the Thargoid structure in, if I could find it, in Sinwef HZ-M D8-69. Because it was targeted by Eagle Eye at one point, and we did not know at the time that there was a structure there. 27 by minus 129, so we need to go south and west. Or south and east, rather, excuse me. Actually, we need to go more east, because we're already approaching 27. So there's 27. Now we just need to go to about 130. Ah, too far. Okay, so we're back at 27. Let's drop here. We should be able to see the structure any second now. I think it's actually directly in front of me. Nope, it is right there, so we got a bit of a long glide ahead of us. Well, you will definitely be able to do so, Macubus, since the FSS is retroactively applied to your ship. So, something I'm actually going to do the next time I get to outfitting is that any advanced discovery scanners I have in storage, I'm actually going to get rid of. Because I'm going to get refunded on them anyway, number one. Number two, they're going to be integrated onto the ship anyway, so there's no point in holding on to them in the storage. So, and I'm going to need the storage space to potentially drop some stuff off from my jumper conda into storage when I get things set up for the Crate Phantom. Is this an active Thargoid structure? Yes, it is.
Gear deployed.
Smooth as butter. No contacts in sight yet.
Low gravity warning.
But if we just go towards the structure a bit.
Unknown system disruption.
There we go. Thargoid uplink device. Right there. We'll go ahead and tag that. So that all of the 3 Thargoid structures on our list this week are logged. And I was actually full on some Thargoid data. You saw that the game flashed the unable to retrieve data warning.
Landing gear retracted.
Alright, let's go into Super Cruise, and while we do that, we will note on our list the target,
Shift drive charging.
which is Thargoid Structure 75.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
And our next stop is going to be the 63G Capricorni system. Let's go ahead and target the Pleiades neutron star, since we actually should be right around the corner to it. It's most certainly on the way. In fact, it's so close that we can definitely do a G1 synthesis and skip that. We have so much G1 materials that it should, Jumponi materials, that it shouldn't be a big issue to just go straight to 98K Tori.
Frameshift drive charging.
In the meantime, let's plot course to 63G Capricorni as well. Plot route. Continue on to 98K Tori.
Ready to engage.
Oh.
4, 3, 2, 1.
And the neutron is below me, it would seem. I'm being tailed by a pirate, though, so I need to make this neutron charge quick.
Warning. Frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive supercharged.
Okay, so I did get the supercharge, but right as the guy started interdicting me, so I do need to beat this interdiction. Curious to know, is he getting thrown around by the star? No, he is not, so I must have gone away from it. It's alright, this is an easy beat. So let's now plot 4 jumps ahead to LP3565.
Frameshift drive charging.
And then after that, it is 2 boosts, 2 jumps to our target system.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Should be able to get there without having fuel issues. Nice big fat dwarf star too, so this should make the jump easy.
Warning. Frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive supercharged. Frameshift drive charging.
Expect to be hearing that a lot, by the way, when I start doing Distant Worlds 2, because if I need to get someplace fast, neutron stars are gonna be how I do it. Same thing for Colonia as well. I might even go straight do the Colonia engineering unlocks earlier, before Distant Worlds 2. In fact, that's probably going to be one of the second or third things I end up doing. Is I'm going to end up making a mad dash for Colonia. We do not need to super jump for this next one. I'm going to make a beeline for Colonia, but scan every system on the way, but then get back to the bubble in time for Distant Worlds 2. Depending on how much time I have, I may take a more scenic route. But again, it's dependent on the time. I mean, I'm going to have like a month or so-ish before Distant Worlds 2, so... And I'm going to have to tolerate the fact that I'm only going to be running on a 55 light-year jump range. Because that's how much weight is going to be on, that's how laden my cargo capacity is going to cause on the Anaconda, because I am going to be carrying stuff. Okay, so, priorities. So, you can see that there are 4 starports in this area. So what we are going to do in this case is we're going to pull directly up, away from the orbital plane. This is the best way to do this.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
And I'm going to be doing this with the FSS too, because it makes things a little bit easier as far as determining where things are behind other objects, because there is nothing behind when you're aligned in a different position on the orbital plane. Now this should be a decent position to drop out. Let's go ahead and play Signal 6, if memory serves me correctly, for this Thargoid link. Alright, let's have a peek. Show me the way, Link. The target is above me somewhere. So it is facing that way. So that way is not the Coriolis, Lieway Gateway. In the vicinity of Skvortsov Orbital. It is not in the vicinity of Hunziker Station, and is not near Ferguson Hub. So it looks like it's pointing at Skvortsov Orbital.
Cargo scoop deployed. Frameshift drive charging. 4,
So we are going to assume that that's its target. And that is Skvortsov Orbital. And that is an Orbis starport. There's nothing else in the vicinity that would make me suggest that, that there is a, another Thargoid target, except this. I am very curious about this O'Mallaghan's Coffee Bar and Payday Loans place that just so happens to be right next door. In fact, I'm so curious that I'm actually going to check it out real quick, because that's just standing right out in the middle of nowhere. It should be noted, we're actually on the rear end of the bubble, too. We're not anywhere near Seoul. We're past Seoul. We're kind of headed towards Laksak, towards Lei Chung. And you can see Upsilon, the area near Upsilon Aquaria was the area that was focused on last week. I'm wondering if the tourist beacons may shed any additional light as to why, assuming this is a tourist beacon and not an installation. Might be an installation. Curious as to know what would make the Thargoids interested to target this system. Fancy diner in the middle of nowhere. This is right next to the planet. Like, literally right next to the planet. It is an installation. Let's take a peek.
Power plant capacity exceeded.
There's two things here. Ah, there is a satellite where we can get some light-encoded data from.
Incoming message.
And we got some atypical encryption archives. Nothing particularly special. You can see a lot of civilian vessels are pulling away from the area as well. I'm curious to know how fast these guys jump out, in which case... What do we got? Defense turrets, 2 cargo bays. That's it. Defense turrets, a satellite, and 2 cargo bays. Nothing particularly special by the looks of it. Yeah, I think these orcas are relieving the system, in which case they're going to generate a lot of high wakes. But anyway, we're done here, so let's go to the Punuri system. What is making that insanely annoying sound? Well, whatever it is, I can't shut it up, so...
Frameshift drive charging.
Alright, let's make our way towards Puneri. They've been in the bubble for quite a while, Stratus. I will just show this real quick.
Ready to engage.
All of these orange and yellow markers on the map are systems that the Thargoids have attacked / starports that are in a repairing state. It started out in the Pleiades with the Oracle and a couple of other stations, but some of those were repaired. Meanwhile, there are other there are a lot of other stations have been attacked, and this station over here at Biero Besse was attacked this week. So let's get out of that and jump.
3, 2, 1.
And we do not need to do a super jump off of this star since Puneria is right here.
Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one.
Yeah, they've been in the bubble for like a little bit close to a year now. They've been hanging around for quite some time. At first, it was starting to be a concern that they were going for Sol, but at that point, people started pushing them back. There's only 2 starports in the area, so we really shouldn't need to do any fancy guessing games in order to try and find out which one is the target.
Disengaged.
Cobra, that guy may come after me. Okay, no, he would have already turned by now if he was. So that Cobra is docile. Dropping. And we'll be playing Signal 3 in front of this link. Not Signal 3, excuse me, Signal 4 in front of this link. The link is now pointing to the right side. So it is pointing towards what appears to be Shaw Dock. Yeah, Coleman Gateway is in the almost complete opposite direction. So it is pointing at Shaw Dock. And that is another Orbis starport. Oops. I just hit my transition button twice by accident. My bad. Shaw Dock. Orbis starport. So let's go ahead and pick the link back up and make our way to our final target. Yes, as Dr. Terminus pointed out, there is the new incursion state that will be constantly putting stations under siege as well. Now, I'm curious to know how Eagle Eye will factor into this. We can skip that with a well-placed G1 synthesis. So the radius of attack is also not too wide once again this week. It's only about a 100 light-year, a 70 to 80 light-year radius.
Frameshift drive charging.
Now, granted, during the beta, some dedicated, myself included, we were able to pull the incursion of the Maya system out of incursion state within 3 days. So I'm curious to know how that is going to reflect in actual gameplay if multiple systems come under incursion. There are a lot of starports here, so we're going to be doing a lot of checking. Again, we will proceed outside the orbital plane to begin. Who's that fellow over there? It's an Alliance chieftain. But it is not coming towards me.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Surprisingly, we've been very lucky with pirate attacks, most likely because the cargo is no longer flagged as illegal. I think that had something to do with it. That's a cop, that's a sidey. pull out another 15C. That should be enough. Oh, here's something that should also be happening if a system is the correct target. You should be seeing non-human signal sources. This one's only a 4, so it's just scouts. This will also be way easier to do once the FSS finally releases. Signal 2, if you would be so kind. Now, 2 of the starports are orbiting a binary pair. I'm hoping that it's not one of them, because then I'm going to have to do another guess. But I think there are 4 starports in the vicinity. Yeah, where are the starports again? Oh no, they're all in separate planets. So, let's look for them. And none of them are near Ot B, thankfully. Bass Terminal is not a target. Let's see. Sharticle City is not a target. Oh, come on! This isn't the first time that name has been used in a starport attack. And yeah, Bischoff Gateway is in the complete wrong direction, so it's targeting Wiener City. Yeah. What is with FDev and going after starports that have the term Wiener?
Frameshift drive charging. Ready to engage. 3, 2, 1.
Because, there is the other starport that was attacked. Not attacked, but, or was it successfully attacked? I need to check EDDB now. I might just have to, Dr. Terminus. FSD boosters, and you just unlock Palin. Excellent. Both are great to have. Palin will get you some amazing engine modifications. Stations. Why is there no partial name? Oh, it's because I spelled that wrong. So yeah, the other station I'm thinking of is in the Aranax system. Is that ACK? Okay, hold on a second. So yeah, the station in the Aranax system, Wiener Enterprise, that station was actually spared. That station was protected. Nicely done, Stratus.
Lakon, Mike.
Yeah, because selling exploration data to any engineers that accept them does also increase reputation for those who did not know. The same applies to, I think, trading in their commodities markets and turning in bounty vouchers. Okay, that takes care of that.
Docking complete. Engaging docking restraints.
So I'm not going to be showing this off because it's a bit difficult for me to for the game to cooperate with me in its current state to do so, and I'd rather do it in the Crate Phantom, which is going to be faster. There is a transmitter somewhere 1 megameter away from the station, which is actually what the Thargoid link is pointing at. That transmitter will speak out the words "anomalous signals detected in system" at the top of every hour. That is your final warning sign that the station is on the chopping block for a Thargoid attack. The elimination of all doubt, if you will. But to summarize our targets this week, so from Eagle Eye 1, we were pointed, or I should say our in Pleiades targets this week were HIP 23022, which pointed us at Thargoid Structure 75, HIP 24007, which was Thargoid Structure 47, and HIP 16795, which was Thargoid Structure 135. All three were active Thargoid structures. Our three in-bubble targets was the Puneri system, which pointed at Shaw Dock, the Orbis starport located there. Right here, near the ELW, interestingly. Our other in-bubble target was 63G Capricorni, which pointed us towards the Orbis starport Skvortsov orbital, if I could find it, which is also orbiting an ELW. And the final target is in the Oitby system, where we currently are right now, in fact. And that is pointing us to Wiener City, which is also orbiting an ELW. Interesting pattern of attacks that all three starboards are orbiting the ELWs. I'm curious about something now. Where's the attack starport at Birabese? Was that orbiting an ELW as well? It was! Is that a new pattern I can use to recognize incoming attacks? What about Lusanda? Okay, so no, it wasn't orbiting an ELW in this case. This week they were all orbiting ELWs, but I guess that's just a coincidence. But ladies and gentlemen, that is your Eagle Eye Notes for the week of December 6th, 3304.